Hello, welcome to Fun and Affordable Magic the Gathering. I'm Joshua Jones here with you for Limited EDH Series 1, Episode 6. And in Episode 6, we're going to start the ally pair of the Guild series. And this is Guild Restricted decks on Commander decks. So, as a reminder, Gilded 1 means, except for the basic lands, all the cards must contain both Guild colors, except for if the card contains the guild mechanic, watermark, or guild name. Today we have the Azorius Senate, and leading the way is Grand Arbiter Augustin 4, which is 2 white blue for a 2/3 human advisor that says white spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, blue spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, spells your opponents cast cost 1 more to cast. It's pretty tempo heavy, so let's get into it. First, we have our ramp card. So we have Unbender Time, which will let you untap another target permanent. Now, you could untap any target permanent you want. Doesn't even have to be yours, but you're just going to want to untap a land or a mana rock so that you could tap it again to ramp out here. We have Field Mist Border Post, which comes into play tapped, and also you have to pay 1 and return a land to your hand to play this, but it is a white-blue artifact ramp card, so we will go ahead and meet those requirements so that we can get some ramp going in these color restrictions. Then we have Azorius Cluestone, Signet, Talisman of Progress, and Azorius Key Rune. Just some nice mana rocks to round out the ramp cards here. Then we have our draw cards, so all these cards let us draw cards as long as we meet whatever conditions are on them. So we have Reparations, which whenever an opponent targets one of our things successfully or us successfully, we get a draw card. And then Righteous Authority, which enchants one of our creatures and gives it +1/+1 for each card we have in our hand. And then also we get to draw 2 cards instead of 1 at our draw step. Here we have Dovon Bane, which lets us -1 to gain 2 life and draw a card. Skyscribing, which is going to allow each player to draw a card. But this here we see the first guild mechanic of Forecast, which says that we can pay 2 and a blue on our upkeep and reveal this card, and then each player draws a card, so we can continuously draw cards or just play it as a sorcery to draw X cards. But that's also, again, each player is going to do it, so everybody's going up, but hey, we're going up. The card's got the Azorius artwork here, but also it has the forecast mechanic, so it does meet the guild restrictor requirements. Here we have target player gains 7 life and draws 2 cards, so we just get a nice little boost in life and then replaces itself +1. And then, of course, Sphinx's Revelation, which is a pretty popular and famous instant speed gain X life and draw X cards card. So I like leaving Sphinxes up whenever you counter spells, and then if it gets to where it's about to be your beginning phase and you didn't need to use the mana to counter a spell, you could just draw some extra cards. Here we have Cloud Blazer, Asperia Supreme Judge, which is also could have been the commander for this deck under the guild requirements, but went ahead with the taxing commander instead. Skyzar and Drogskull Reaver. So all of these cards just let us draw cards. And again, we see the forecast mechanic here, but this time, if we tap 2 untapped white or blue creatures we control, we get to reveal this from our hand and draw a card. Just repeated card draw every turn. But again, the forecast mechanic is play it only during your upkeep and only once each turn. Here we have our counterspell suite. So we have Deputy of Acquittals. It's definitely Acquittals. This is a flash 2/2 I included in the counterspells thing because it says when it ETBs, you may return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. So you leave 2 mana up and essentially it does the same thing as a counterspell, but for targeted removal spells or targeted spells only. Azorius Guildmage, which is a white or a blue and a white or a blue for a 2/2. That has a 2 and a white to tap target creature, which is some nice tempo, or 2 and a blue to counter target activated ability. Here we get into our true hard counter spells. We have counter target spell unless the controller pays for, also gauges some life, counter all other spells and draw a card for each spell counter this way, and then counter target creature spell and shuts that player out for the rest of the turn. So just some great counter spells. Here we have Hinderlight, Ojutai's Command, Absorb, and Overruler. So here's some just gain life spells, a little cantrip spell, and then some utility and Ojutai's Command, and again some life gain and Absorb. Moving on to the Tempo 20. These are the 20 cards that are all tempo related. So first we see the second guild mechanic for Azorius, which is Detain. Detain means that essentially if it's detained until your next turn, the creature that is detained can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. So we have Curse of Chains, Detention Sphere, Plums of Peace, and Martial Law. Again, we have the forecast mechanic, so you could tap a target creature down, or you could just put this on a creature and then it just won't untap during its controller's untap step. The rest of these are just tap and detain cards. Here we have Lonvala of the 10th, Archon of the Triumvirate, that's a weird word, Thought Weft Gambit, World Purge. So just good tempo cards here. You could tap all the stuff down and untap your stuff. World Purge is going to irritate a lot of people because you return all the permanents to their owner's hands, and then they can only keep 7 cards in their hand, and then all the mana from mana pool's empty. So when you play this card, just make sure that you wait to play your land drop for the turn until after you play this, and then you'll be up on the tempo battle, because basically the game will have restarted. And then moving on here, we have Silkbind Fairy, Azorius Judicator, Soul Sworn, Spirit, and Spire Patrol. Some more detain and tap down cards. Here we have Guafa Hazi Profiteer, Leaf, Sky Knight, Minister, and Impediments Reflector Mage. Some more tap and return cards and can attack or block cards. All some sweet tempo cards here. Here we have Fractured Identity, Govern the Guildless Azorius Arrestor, New Prov Guild Mage. So, continuing the trend with the tap down cards, but here we first see our gain control of target monocolor creature. So, basically, you get to gain control of somebody's creature for the rest of the game or until they remove it. And then we have exile target non-land permanent. Each player gets a copy of it, so you remove one thing and then gain back the rest of the stuff for everybody else. So if somebody's playing like Brago or something like that, or I don't know why I said Brago, just pretty much any creature that's a threat, you can get rid of it, and then everybody else is going to get one of those. Here we have our utility spell. So we have Vanish into Memory and Thistle Down Liege. So the Liege cards, as you know, give +1/+1 to white and blue. So it's great for us because that's what we're playing here. And then we have exile target creature. You draw cards equal to the power, and then at the beginning of the next upkeep, you return that card, but you have to discard equal to its toughness. So you want to make sure that you get low toughness, high power creatures, and also too, if you exile somebody's commander, you'll get to draw those cards. But then because it went to the command zone, it won't actually come back if they move it to the command zone. They'll have to move it to the exile zone in order for this spell to completely resolve on the beginning of the next upkeep. Here we have Turnimus, Farah, God of Polis, Daxus of Miletus, and Wall of Denial. Wall of Denial is just excellent because it's an 08 Defender flyer with Shroud, so just pretty much not getting in the air anymore unless they have Death Touch or something like that. Daxos lets you exile stuff off your opponent's deck or library, and then you get to play those and use mana however you want to play them. And then Afara, just we don't have too many flash things, but we do have a lot of things like Turn to Mist, which will allow you on your opponent's turn to blink a creature, or actually its controller, its flicker effect, and then you'll be able to draw a card that way. But also just having a 6/5 indestructible god that's always pretty much always going to be turned on is good to me. Here we have Taigam, which allows you to get rebound on your spells and then make sure that they're not countered, so people can't counter your counters. Miss Metal Witch, which allows you to just do that flicker effect. Spirit Undal, which has the forecast ability where you can give something shadow, so pretty much make your threats unblockable. And then of course Supreme Verdict, because how are we not going to run Supreme Verdict? It destroys all creatures and can't be countered. That's what I'm talking about. Here we have still the Godhead. It's a pretty infamous 1/1 lifelinker that gives something unblockable so that you can get in. Especially if you use it on the Ageless there, you're going to be taking an extra turn after that if it's unblockable. Azorius Electors as an alternate win condition. And then me personally, if I was playing this deck and it wasn't guild restricted, I'd throw Brago in as the commander and just start making upgrades from there, because Brago is a big time threat that lets you blink stuff and just keep detaining things over and over again. Everybody loves that, right? here we have our lands. So we're running 39 lands in total. Tranquil Cove and Azorius Senate, just a bounce land and life land. There's only 5 non-basic lands in this deck because all the white-blue lands are expensive as all get out for some reason. Then we're running 17 plains and 17 islands. Actually, I believe I switched this 16 plains late minute to put in Cloud of Fairies, which just says you get a bounce the spell to your hand whenever somebody targets it. But this will work too this way. Either way, it's a fun little deck. Check it out here at MTG Goldfish, deck number 868632. You can get this deck for 40 bucks and hang out with the Azorius Senate and find out what that true discounted value of life's all about, while your opponents are paying more for all their spells. Surely to irritate the heck out of all your play group the next time that you guys play. Hey, give these guild decks a shot. Why not? Commander's a fun format, especially when you start putting limits on it and your play group all does these things together. You guys are surely to have a good time. I'm Joshua Jones with Fun and Affordable Magic the Gathering. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.